This week we're going for mountain goat on a boat. We're going to take the boat right up next to the glacier, watch them calve. We're going to look up on the mountains, we're going to glass, we're going to try to find the goat that we want. We're going to make a climb, and hopefully, with any luck, we'll come back down with a mountain goat. And my first Dall sheep, oh, a lot happened on that first one. It wore me out, and I said if I'm ever going to go back and hunt sheep again, I'm going to get in shape. So don't go away. Two great exciting animals, two great exciting adventures coming right up.
Bass Pro Shops and Alamositos Ranch present Bob Foulkrod's Hunting Adventures. Seven continents, 80 species, a 5-year quest in the making. High adventure, dangerous game. Real-world training tips. This is Bob Foulkrod's Hunting Adventures.
More vertical than horizontal. Most sheep country in this area is between 6,000 and 7,000 feet. Bob joins guide Todd Robbins to help pack the horses for the 3-hour ride into the foothills where the hunt begins.
Todd.
Hey, how you doing?
Not bad, Bob Foulkrod.
Todd Robbins. I'll be your guide for the hunt.
All right, good deal.
Whoa, I guess not everybody is as eager to get started as Bob and Todd. Time to head out. They're soon in sheep country, and Todd goes to work with his spotting scope. These are young rams and ewes, not what Bob's after. But one of these guys looks promising. It may be time to pitch camp right here. The hunters are on their own now. For as long as it takes to get their ram, the tents are their home. The sheep are still there next morning, grazing in terrain so barren and rugged, it looks like the face of the moon. Sheep hunting can be dangerous business. That's why Alaska requires all non-resident hunters to hunt only with a licensed guide. It's a long, slow stalk to the top on a circling route that keeps the sheep from seeing the hunters. After hours of tough climbing, they're at a good spot to check out the sheep at close range. One of these rams is trophy quality, with a set of horns that should tape close to 36 inches. If the hunters can get within range, Bob will try the shot.
They're gonna push them right into they're gonna push them over that next hog back.
Oh, no.
We're gonna have to get up and climb back up to the top again.
Up at the top?
Up at the top again. We're gonna have to move quick. Okay, Bob, right here on the rock. They're gonna be coming right through here someplace.
Get right on.
Get ready, because I'll tell you what ram he is.
Here you go.
Only now does Bob put a round into the chamber. The terrain here is so rough and falls so likely that cartridges are kept in the magazine until the last minute.
Okay, he's the first one. The first one. Okay, he's clear. Take him when you want to, Bob. Very first one.
I see him. I see him.
Get him before them other rams come on up on him. Okay, Bob. He's gonna hit the ridge line. Take him. Oh. Hold on, Bob. You got him. He's going down.
Are you sure?
He's down! Nice shot, Bob. Nice shot. You just got yourself a fine Alaskan Dall sheep there, Bob. Yes. Yes. Don't get any better than that, Bob.
I'm telling you.
Really, you don't. What a sheep. We got to go down there and see him.
What a long day.
Long day, yes. It's been exactly 13 hours into it from the time we started climbing this morning.
I couldn't believe he cut back like that. I mean, we stayed and stayed and stayed, and then we come up and then I couldn't say, what the heck?
They shot across. Either way we got it. That's why I said when they disappeared over that ridge, if they would have come up on the backside of us, we'd have never got them. That's why I had us break. We come up top. Then again, they double standard us. They come back across right where we were sitting. come up and over the ridge, and I knew that they'd be coming and breaking because they'd be headed out that way, and we got our shot. That was a fine shot.
The good news is Bob's trophy is down. The bad news is it's way down, more than 1,000 feet down the mountain. Now it's time for the long climb down to collect the trophy and to begin toting out the meat, hide, and horns. Under Alaska law, the entire animal has to be taken back to camp. By the time the hunters reached the downed sheep, it was too dark for our cameras. Only a still camera equipped with a flash could be used to capture this magnificent trophy.
Bob Foulkrod's Hunting Adventures is brought to you commercial-free by these fine sponsors: Gore-Tex, Winchester Ammunition, Kinnetrek, Kufaru, and LJ Blessings Ranch.
The spectacular mountain country of Alaska's southeast coast is among the most beautiful natural habitats in North America. Here, the unspoiled wilderness alone draws outdoorsmen from around the world to marvel at the splendor of nature at its finest. But redhead pro hunter Bob Foulkrod has been pulled here by the added appeal of a unique hunt for the most sure-footed animal on the continent: the mountain goat. The nimble-footed goats thrive on the isolated islands and vertical landscape here. Goats evolve their high country behavior to escape predators. In the steep, dangerous country they prefer, only the occasional cougar threatens the adults. The young are safe from all but golden eagles after they leave the valleys where they're born. The jumping-off spot for the adventure is Juneau. With a population of only 30,000, this quaint fishing village is the only state capital with no road access.
Is this where I say ahoy, mate? I'll be darned. How about that? Oh, mink running all over. Well, I guess I got all my licenses and everything.
You ready to go?
I guess so.
Before he heads for the backcountry, Bob decides to spend a few hours on a fishing and sightseeing boat, touring the Juneau Harbor area. Juneau is located on mainland Alaska, in the heart of the Inside Passage, 900 air miles northwest of Seattle and 600 air miles southeast of Anchorage. Numerous cruise lines offer excursions in Alaskan waters. Juneau may host as many as 5 large cruise ships and several smaller ones in a single day. Bob decides to wet a line for halibut, and he soon discovers that, like everything else in Alaska, the fish grow to giant size.
You know what you do when it rains and you can't go out and hunt? You put the crab pots out and you fish for halibut. And here he comes.
Oh, you gotta skate. You go stingray.
What do you think? Wasn't a halibut after all. I seen that white on there. I thought he was a halibut.
That's no halibut, Bob, but a visit to the commercial fishing dock nearby proves there are plenty of the giant flatfish here. Commercial fishing is the king of all industry in Alaska. More families and individuals rely on commercial fishing for jobs and opportunity here than any other occupation. In fact, 58% of all the United States seafood comes from Alaska, 4 times more than the next largest producing region. The value of Alaska's seafood exports is greater than timber, oil, coal, or any other resource. Juneau is home to not only processors, marketers, and distributors of seafood, but a significant state and federal support base that carefully monitors and protects this precious resource and all its beauty. But another significant contribution to this region are jobs and income provided by hunting. Bob's many trips to the land of the midnight sun have produced income for outfitters, hotels, airlines, and even a few taxidermists. The tour comes to an end, and it's time to go hunting. Fortunately, the hunting trip starts just down the dock.
For help with all of your hunt booking needs, contact J&M Safaris at jnmsafaris.com.
Ready to go?
Ready to go there, Bob. All right, I've got the engines warmed up. Let's take advantage of this good weather.
Bob's home during the hunt will be this 48-foot mothership. The floating campsite allows hunters to scout these dangerous waters in relative safety, under the experienced hands of outfitter Hans Bertley. As they get underway, the open deck gives Bob a great look at the scenery in the southernmost corner of our northernmost state. Hans points the bow down the bay, and civilization quickly falls away behind. Goats thrive throughout the coastal mountains of Alaska. And thanks to conservation efforts of state game agencies and hunter groups such as the Foundation for North American Wild Sheep and biologists of the Northern Sheep and Goat Council, the future of these amazing animals looks bright in the northern climes. Goats are having less success in the lower 48, where a combination of warming climate and increased mountain recreation on snowmobiles appears to be causing stress and population reductions in some areas. The 16,000 hunter members of FNAWS have contributed some $45 million to mountain goat and wild sheep conservation, restocking, and habitat improvement since 1977, helping these remarkable animals hold their own.
This week's Conservation Angle has been brought to you by Wild Sheep Foundation.
The small boat towed behind the mothership will provide the hunters access to the rocky shore.
There's no short of billies, that's for sure. We've probably got about 15. We got two really nice billies, we think, from here. We're going to have to climb up there to really get a good look at them, but it's too late right now to go on up, but we've got a game plan, and weather permitting, we're going to go up there and see what they look like tomorrow.
There's still enough time that afternoon to enjoy some of the amazing sights only seen in Alaska. The march of the ice to the sea, which has been going on for thousands of years, ends when the glaciers calve or fracture, sending 100-ton icebergs into the bay, and sometimes pushing up enormous waves. The night is short, punctuated by the roar of glaciers and Bob's dreams of a trophy billy.
Closed captioning has been provided by Swarovski Optic.
There she goes. Oh yeah.
The next morning, Bob and Hans navigate the ice again. Always a risk, but there are few landing places on this rugged shoreline. The ice creates an obstacle course for the hunters, but the tough hull of the metal boat is up to the job. This scant landing site is within striking distance of their target, and in this vertical landscape, every inch counts. The mate will pull the boat clear of shore to avoid problems with tidal waves from the glacier, as well as the dramatic tide changes, which may exceed 15 feet.
Good luck.
All right, thanks. That's quite an adventure just getting here.
Yeah, when you come in, you got to be careful because you've just seen it with the waves along the shoreline.
Yeah.
Every time a big chunk comes up, it creates a big old, almost like a, tidal wave.
Yeah.
So you don't want to spend too much time down there by the water.
Yep.
Get off, be quick, getting up. Skip backs off, and then you're safe.
Being swept into this frigid water would mean death in minutes, so the shoreline is no place to linger. Unfortunately, there's also a bit of risk in leaving it behind, as our intrepid climbers soon discover.
This is puts one of them pucker powers into it right here, doesn't it?
Mountain goats have soft concave pads on the bottom of their hooves, which allow them to traverse cliff-like terrain where a spider would have a hard time hanging on.
Yeah, you put that rock there for me, didn't you?
Bob, on the other hand, is a flatlander with a load of gear on his back. The climb is an immediate challenge.
We got her now. I never knew them little fingers could grab a hold of something so small and pull. Pretty glacier, isn't it?
Tallest glacier. Well, we better get our whites on and getting close to the goats.
Okay.
They're going to be right around the corner.
The terrain calls for a different kind of camo. The white jackets simulate the coat of the goats, making it less likely they will spook. Bob and Hans may have several mountain goats spotted from the land, but it's another matter getting within range. Several attempts find either smaller goats or an impossible approach. Goats are surprisingly nimble, considering their size. A mature billy may approach 300 pounds, but his massive thigh muscles easily push him up the slopes. One of these billies is just what Bob's looking for. If they can get in range, Bob's quest may be over.
Transportation for all of Bob Foulkrod's hunting adventures is provided by Victor Chevrolet. Check him out at victorchevrolet.com. Although Bob completed his obsession quest taking over 80 animals with a rifle, his first love has always been bow hunting. He's teamed up with longtime friend and archery coach Mike Price to help make you a better bow shot. This week's archery lesson is brought to you by Heritage Archery Academy and these great archery sponsors: Hoyt, True Ball, Easton, Limb Saver, Gateway Feathers, and Dirt Nap.
This week we're going to talk about your sighting systems and how to use them. Choices first. So you have several different style sights. I use a tournament style sight, multi-pin, and then you can also get one that are fixed. So this bar can move in and out at different distances. So that makes my aperture, my front aperture and my rear aperture, different sizes. If it's closer to me, the front aperture is bigger, so I can align things differently. Multi-pin sights, because a lot of tournament shooters, myself even, shoot a single pin sight for tournament. I learned a good lesson at the hunting school, at Foulkrod's hunting school in Pennsylvania. I brought a single pin tournament sight to a hunting school. And Bob goes, "Man, don't mess up with that thing." Well, I did twice, and there's 2-axis arrows in Bob's pine trees behind the target butts because I forgot to adjust. And some of the biggest animals that I've killed were at 100 yards, then they were at 60, and then they were right on me at 20 before I had a chance to set anything. So your multi-pin sights, what you can do with them is you don't have to adjust, because do you need something else to think about? Do you need to be able to adjust, you know, that close? If you have multi-pin, I set mine 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. Okay, so if I do that, let's say Bob and I are messing around, we want to shoot some tournament, I want to shoot 100 yards. Well, the cool thing about this is I can gang adjust those, and I can make those sight pins my 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. But when I want to shoot long distance, I'm going to pick out that red pin because I can see that really well on most targets, okay? And then I'm going to take this, and if you look, this is similar to a tournament style sight. So if I want to shoot at 100 yards with Bob, because we have a contest going, and I want to whoop his butt, I'm going to use the tournament style to get that done. So you pick one of those pins, and that's going to be your roving pin. So not only do you have a multi-pin system, but you also have a tournament style system. And this has detents. So every one of these will click in. So when I come to it, it clicks in and I know, oh, that's my 100-yard pin. That's my 100-yard detent. And I can set all the detents differently. I can add them, and you can put that tournament style bar on this release or on this sight to move it out away from your eyes so you can clear up your sight picture. That should help you with sight picture and getting old.
Finally, the hunters may have the chance they've worked so hard for. Bob and Hans have spotted a nice billy and judged his travel route. If their plan works, he should come out from behind a rocky outcrop and well within range.
How far? 200. I'm gonna go to that big rock right there. Throw my pack up.
That guy killed.
Spot me.
The plan worked, but Bob's experience tells him to wait for his heart and lungs to slow before attempting a shot. One of the challenges of goat hunting is to drop the animal in its tracks on a ledge, preventing a long fall that may damage the trophy. This old billy is positioned just about right.
What a shot, man. That was a heck of a climb, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it just don't get any better than that. That old ice glacier in the background. Absolutely fantastic mountain goat. This has been great.
Bob's perfect shot has anchored the goat where he stood. Now, it's a matter of climbing up to claim the trophy.
Well, he looks pretty, doesn't he?
You got lucky.
Oh, man.
Come up on the rock.
Look at that hair blow. Whew. What a beautiful goat. Oh, boy.
Check it out, dude.
Look at that.
He's a niner.
That is beautiful.
The 6-inch thick coat of this old mountain monarch will provide Bob with a lifelong memento of a spectacular trip to a spectacular part of wild America. And the big goat's offspring will continue to thrive here, so long as the habitat is preserved.
Well, I tell you what a fantastic hunt. Thanks again, man.
Hey,
Appreciate it. Folks, if you want a great hunt, you got to come up here in Alaska and hunt with Hans. The scenery is spectacular, and the goat hunt's pretty darn good too.
After your successful hunt of a lifetime, contact Wes Good at CanadiStudio.com for the finest taxidermy in the business. Be sure to follow Bob and all his adventures at BobFoulkrod.com and on Facebook.